Hi, I'm Paul Martin. I'm an academic director with the National Alliance on Insurance Education and Research, and I'm here today to help you understand some insurance issues.
We're talking about bakery insurance, and that's something that we've seen a lot of these little cupcake shops kind of pop up in the last decade or so as these have come a little bit more trendy. So, what are the first steps involved in finding the insurance you need to operate a bakery?
Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Bakeries are what we would consider a real middle market kind of business from an insurance perspective. There's a lot of insurance companies that would like to write bakeries, so that's not going to be an issue for you. Finding someone that who's willing to write your insurance, that's not the issue. It's what you want to make sure that you bought in terms of your insurance. And it really runs the gamut. We could start with things like a workers' compensation. It's one of those things that's required in almost every state. So if you have employees, that's a first step. People can get hurt. You want to make sure that you have general liability insurance. Commercial general liability insurance is like the cornerstone of your insurance program because it is what is protecting you from a liability standpoint against the public. Of course, if you have delivery, then you've raised an auto exposure. If you have like a food truck operation where you do the cupcakes out somewhere, then that's another issue. So you're going to need automobile insurance, and you're going to need liability insurance. You're going to need physical damage insurance if you own the vehicle or lease the vehicle. If you don't, there's insurance we can get for if it's a hired vehicle or if it's a borrowed vehicle. Your employees, even using their own vehicles, can create an auto exposure for you. Then, of course, property insurance. The first question you need to ask yourself, do I own the building that I'm operating in? Or am I a tenant in the building? We can insure both. That's not a problem. But that is a central question because if I'm the tenant, then the insurance is a little bit different. I'm not going to insure the building, but I'm still going to need insurance for the stuff that I have, all my equipment and my counters and all that kind of things. And I'm going to need insurance for the things that I change about the building. And then, of course, all the things you have inside, from equipment, anything that moves would be considered your business personal property. So we're going to make sure we insure that.
Can you talk a little bit about food spoilage? Because I think in this particular situation it applies, and I'm assuming that means if, our freezers are on the fritz and everything in it, we lose. What kind of coverage do we get with our policy?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's two different kinds of policies can respond to the situations you described. Number one, if you had a true breakdown, equipment breakdown, the policies sometimes can cover for spoilage. Property insurance has an endorsement, a change to it, an add-on you can buy called spoilage. And it is if the power goes out because of a covered peril. Mm. It can cover your loss of your property because the power's out. And it could be, like maybe a tornado went through the area or there was a really, really bad windstorm and knocked a bunch of power lines down. And so your bakery or your ice cream shop, whatever it might be, is without power for 24 hours. Well, would that be enough to spoil it? I don't know. If it was a grocery store, it all depends on what you have. The frozen meat might last 24 hours, particularly if you kept the doors closed. Ice cream's not going to. The stuff that goes quick are things like ice cream and flowers, like a florist. Mm-hmm. So they're all rated based on what do you actually have that's refrigerated. But the spoilage endorsement, you can buy up to $50,000 worth. And if you needed more, there's another way to do it. And that's okay. Your agent will know how to do that. But there's a simple spoilage endorsement that gives you up to $50,000 for loss of your stuff because the power was out because it's something that's covered.
So what's the best way to go about obtaining bakery insurance and making sure that you're getting all of those policies you really need?
That's a good question. The main thing you want to do is you want to work with a professional insurance agent that has access to multiple markets. Remember I mentioned about bakery, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of insurance companies who want to run a bakery. So it'd be great to have 3 or 4 or 5 choices, wouldn't it? Where the agent can do the shopping for you. They can help make sure that you have the right coverages and the right amounts and package it up together to save you as much money as possible. But it's not about the cheapest. The cheapest doesn't mean the best. I mean, we all know that's true in life. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's better. So the right fit, I guess, it would be better. an independent agent that can customize the insurance that you need to your situation, that's the way to go. A trusted choice agent's always a good choice.